What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Mike DeLoach. You should already know by now, but if you don't, just sit back and relax as we give you some of that. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Again, it's your man, Mike DeLoach. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified when we drop some more content. And be sure to leave a comment too, like the video, and share the video as well. But today, one of the things we're going to talk about is, do you have a lookalike? Or have you ever been told you look like somebody? Or, but me personally, I do believe everybody has a lookalike. Whether, some people may say that you favor somebody, you may not think you favor that person, but you may have a familiar spirit to somebody, and, we may make this into a two-part series as far as more on the physical and as far as, reminding somebody, with a certain spirit as well. But anyway, we're going to keep it on the physical with this one. But, again, let's say, some people have told you that you got to look alike or you look like somebody. But, I do believe everybody has a twin, so we're going to get into that today, But I guess the first thing I do want to touch on is the fact that, when I say everybody looks alike, or it could be more the appearance as far as your style, and, I think there's been times where we've all been stereotyped to a certain point, you know what I mean? I just seen on Facebook the other day, somebody had posted, it was this guy, that had dreads and whatnot, when I think he might have wore the jewelry, I'm not too sure, but basically the first stereotype that people got, he may have drove a nice car, something like that, but he had dreads or whatever. But the dreads is the point that I'm getting at as far as stereotype. But the way that he wore his hair, people assume that, this guy must, be a drug dealer or something. He must be doing something illegal to get his money. But in reality, the guy was actually a paralegal and, had his own practice. So he was a legit baller. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to Twister there, legit ballers. But he was a legit baller. You know what I mean? And the stereotype around him when people get first glances that, he may be doing something illegal. But that was the furthest from the case, So that's the way, some people get into the stereotype through appearance. Sometimes it could just be naturally, your skin tone, you know what I mean? And I feel like all people of color have experienced this. And one thing about comedians, and, that's kind of my outlet. I like to watch, comedy shit, you know what I mean? But with the comedians, a way of them breaking the ice on certain stereotypes, is to focus in on those stereotypes. You see, and even you see Latino comedians or Mexican comedians, even Arabian comedians or Middle Eastern comedians, but they themselves will, make a joke out of this stereotype that most people may have about their race, if you would. You know what I'm saying? Just based on, where they come from and their background, one of the biggest stereotypes about, Mexican men, I think about Mike Epps too, about, when you pull over a Mexican man, he gonna be like, yes, yes. He just kept saying yes as if he didn't know English, and yes was the only thing that he knew. But he could have very well, and some Mexican men know English, you know what I'm saying? But they may just prefer to speak Spanish, or they may just have some broken English. You know what I mean? But it's the stereotype that even with the Mexican people, that they're more of the, I don't want to say farm workers, because that's, I guess, not the biggest thing these days, but just, you know, people will make jokes about, going to the Home Depot and finding, the Mexican man or whatever to work for the day. And now, some cases that may be true, and that's the thing about stereotypes. Sometimes they are true, but not everybody, falls into that stereotype. But that's not the case of all Mexican men. Some Mexican men got their own business. They're not out there looking to find work for the day. And then again, you may have some who may be looking for that work. You know what I'm saying? But it's levels in each nationality. You know what I mean? But again, a lot of those men fall under that stereotype, and even the women may fall under the stereotype that they always work as a cleaning woman. You know what I mean? And again, some cases it may be true, but not all cases. But same thing with black people. Some people fall in the stereotype as being this drug dealer or whatever, and that may not be the case. This guy may have his own book, may be an author. You know what I'm saying? Could be a doctor. You never know. So again, a lot of people look alike, and sometimes it's unintentional. We'll get into intentional lookalikes in a minute. But back to the physical as far as people looking alike. One thing I think about that kind of made me, question, does everybody have a look-alike, or is it more of a stereotype? You know what I'm saying? Because I used to work in a call center, and follow me with the story, you know what I mean? But I used to work in a call center, and there was another brother named Kenny, that worked with me. And be sure to check out his interview as well with Don't Take It From Me with Kenneth Newman. But we worked together at this call center. We had a cafe. Now, mind you, there's not too many brothers in there. We in there scattered out, you know what I'm saying? But, you still got your dark skin, your light skin thing going on, you know what I mean? Me and Kenny were, few of the light skin population of the black people. So that breaks it down even more, And so, here it is. Let's say me and Kenny both order something in the cafe around the same time. You know what I mean? And normally that would be the case. Like, he may go in front of me, I may go in front of him, but usually if we ate, together at the same day, we would order around the same time, And let's say I made it back to the cafe before Kenny, but his food was done before mine. Like, the lady always thought, I was Kenny, And so I was like, dang, does she think, we look alike or whatever, So how is she not able to tell the difference between me and Kenny? We walk different, we talk different, we dress different. So we didn't fall into this, like, stereotype, other than, we two light-skinned brothers, you know what I'm saying? And so, but she would always get us mixed up, and so it made me think, like, dang, like, does everybody have a look-alike, Now, the thing is, like, in some cases, it may be, again, intended. I'm going to throw this out there and I'm going to get back to it, but think about the Usher song, You Remind Me. And again, like I said, we'll do the physical today, but we may touch into the spiritual. And I want to touch into the spiritual about the You Remind Me song too, but let's keep it in the physical. Now, genetically, some people could look alike. You may have daughters who look like their mama. I look like my father. You know what I'm saying? My brother looks like our grandfather. So, like, you can see that in genetics. You may have cousins who favor. You know what I'm saying? But, it's not often that you're going to date, a girl and her cousin. You know what I mean? But you may date somebody who very well reminded you of one of your exes. And again, let's keep it in the physical. So the thing is, when I say, everybody look alike, because, I think about with the black culture and, the different shades in the black culture. You got your red bones, you got your hot yellows, you know what I'm saying? Then you got your chocolates, you know what I'm saying? Then you got your caramels too, And the thing is, regardless of genetics, in some cases you may have those certain shades or whatever who may look familiar, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's their lips, whether it's their eyes, you know what I mean? Whether it's the way they, whether it's the way they talk, they may have similar features as far as, the nose or like the cheeks, you know what I mean? And even down to the body type. You know what I mean? And they may have, again, similar personalities, but again, that's more on the spiritual. But in the physical, like I said, they may have that body that very well went with another girl that you may have dated before. Ask my brother. He dated 3 girls that looked alike. You know what I mean? And that may be his preference, but they all looked alike. And I used to think that was just a black thing, or you just heard that within the black culture. But being out here in New Mexico, when being around, the Mexican population, the Latino population, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a lot of these women, and a lot of the guys too, who actually look alike. You know what I mean? And it's even in the native culture. You know what I mean? It's it's scary sometimes. But I mean that rabbit hole goes deeper. But anyway, like you see it in a lot of other cultures. When you definitely get that. You definitely get that vibe. That dang, it's not just in the black culture. Like, I've seen native girls that that look alike. I see Mexican girls that look alike. I've seen Latino girls, that look alike. And a lot of instances, it is where, kind of like with the black girls, with the cheekbones and the eyes, and the way the eyebrows arch, the smile, the teeth, the shape of the teeth. You know what I mean? Like, you start to see that within the Latino culture, within the Mexican culture, the native culture. You know what I mean? And the crazy part about it is it doesn't stop within just each culture alone. Because, yeah, if you come from a certain, background, whether, like say your family grew up in a Caribbean area, or in South America, or Southern America, Mexico, you know what I mean? Like, or growing up in the South, like, you're gonna carry those ancestral traits. There was a post with Carlos Miller, talking about how he been here for a long time. There was a ancestral picture of like an Egyptian god or whatever, and Carlos Miller had put it to himself, and hell, they look dinner just alike. But like, that shows you how deep the genealogy goes. But and another element, and why I want to make this video, because again, I'm here to promote unity. And the thing is that if you really take a moment and sit back, and being, hopefully that you're in a place where it's a lot of different culture. But if you're not, hopefully, if you do visit one of those places that are multicultural, you know what I mean, take a moment and sit back and observe, all the different races. And one thing that I do believe that you'll come to find is that you may see a black woman who looks like a Mexican woman or a Latino woman. You know what I mean? And in the sense that their features may look damn near the same. They just got a different skin tone and they're considered a different race. But if you look at some of their features, you may find a few people who look like, dang, like I just seen this mixed girl who's black and white who look like this Spanish girl. Because the thing is, there's a girl that I met, when I first moved out here, it was in one of my first training classes at one of my jobs, Mexican chick. And not too long ago, I met this white girl through an associate of mine. Now, this white girl and this Mexican girl, obviously they're two different demographics in terms of race or nationality, however you want to look at it. But if you were to put these two girls side by side, their facial features were damn near exact, and they had, again, similar cheekbones, the way their cheeks kind of fluffed up. They smile, you know what I'm saying? Like, the teeth was damn near identical, and their eyebrows, and like, even the way, you could see her look when she get mischievous. You know what I'm saying? They're very similar. And that's why I say, I think everybody does have a look-alike. And it's deep in a way for me. I don't know if you see it the way I see it, but here it is. These people are from one of a white culture, one of a Mexican culture, but they look just alike. You know what I mean? And if they weren't Mexican and white, you probably thought they were sisters. You know what I mean? If you're just going off their features. And that's why I guess it all ties in as far as, with the whole Usher thing. You remind me, you know what I mean? Because, like, dang, like, you remind me of somebody, and not just somebody of your gene pool and from your family. Like I said, of a completely different race, completely different family, but y'all mannerisms and whatnot and physical features looks hell of alike. You know what I mean? And it's weird, but again, I just want you to pay attention to that one thing. And my thing is too, like, hopefully that shows you that we are a little closer together than what we may believe. You know what I mean? When it comes to the human race, and again, like I said, I'm just here to promote unity throughout all races, all people of color. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can get past that, because in today's world, we're dealing with a lot of, I don't want to say hate crimes, but they're definitely making race a part of the division that we see here. You know what I mean? And hell, I've seen some native people that remind me of Asian people or Filipino people. You know what I mean? And like I say, I'm not no history teacher, so I can't tell you about, all the wars and whatnot that happened over the years, but shit like that could very well play a part of, why people are mixed up, why we are mixing up. And as time goes on, more races are going to continue to mix together. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I want you to look at. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, you got some native people who are reminiscent of Asians. Or you could say some Asian people look like some natives. You know what I mean? Whatever. But, again, yeah, I think everybody does kind of have this look-alike. And we all know, again, people have intended lookalikes. You know what I mean? And not to get that confused with, people having somebody that physically look like them, because beyond the stereotypes that may be out there, again, you have people who look alike for an intended purpose, whether you be a Blood, Crip, GD Vice Lord, or whatever Mexican gang that may be out there or whatever, or just to have the look of, the cholo. You know what I mean? Some cats may just, rock a certain way to have this certain stereotype, if you would, apply to it. But again, just to connect with a certain group of people. Bikers gonna clean together. Car clubs gonna clean together. Again, it's all for the intended purpose. Emo people gonna kick it together. Rockers gonna kick it together. But through all of those different intended groups, there's a similar what is it? There's a common denominator. Like I said, whether it's a car club, it's passion for cars. You know what I mean? If it's a bike, it may be passion for bikes. You got people who go rock climbing together. You know what I mean? People who skate. Skaters gonna have this certain image. You know what I mean? And again, the emo, they're gonna have this certain image, because there's this common denominator as far as what the intended purpose is for. So we're going to have this look because, like I said, whether it's a gang member or whatever, because we want to identify this certain way. You know what I mean? Or this is, when you see us, this is what we stand for, or whatever. So again, some people have those intended purposes, as far as looking alike. But again, it's a common denominator, and I think, again, as far as you have it and look alike, whether that person black, white, Chinese, Asian, Filipino, whatever the case may be, there's a common denominator between you and that person as well. when that's, interacting in this day to day and going on in our day to day lives to live amongst each other, to coexist, if you would. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that, like I said, because it was funny to me that the lady in the cafe was like, hey, like, hey, here you go, Kenny. And I'm like, shit, I'm not Kenny. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you not seen Kenny? Or can you not know the difference between? But I don't think Kenny's my lookalike. I think my dad may be my lookalike. Or I've seen people used to think I looked like T.I. back in the day. So everybody have like their little celebrity lookalikes. You know what I mean? I got a little cousin look just like J. Cole. I'm bullshit you not. So I'm sure he got a lot of play just looking like J. Cole. I got a lot of play just looking like T.I. I know another little homie who looked just like Drake. You know what I mean? So, everybody kind of have that look-alike, But, beyond the stereotypes, like I said, I just want you to see that, everybody is, pretty much the same. Like I said, at the end of the day, as far as people, I think we should start treating each other as such, It's easier said than done. I just want to be part of the change, hopefully, to, like I said, get beyond certain stereotypes within everybody, so that we can coexist. So, but hopefully it made some sense to you as far as the stereotypes. And again, I'm sure we've all been stereotyped. Versus actually, like, dang, like that person look just like such and such. You know what I mean? And again, understanding the intended lookalikes too. And understanding what it is for what it is. Why people do, wear certain images, and it's what are they used to attract, because you could have someone in the car club, let's say, and it could be all different nationalities. But regardless of what race that person may be, all of that stuff is like squash when it comes down to the love for cars and appreciation for cars. You know what I mean? Remember talking to a white dude, used to come to our hotel and and do westerns. And like I'm the only brother that works at my hotel, and he would just come talk to me sometimes. And when one day he told me, he was like, shoot, we accept anybody. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, the stereotype is that this Western is just a white man thing, if you would. And on a deeper level, on another level, we know there are black cowboys and whatnot, but here it is. Maybe now that's the stereotype, but he's telling me that there's a guy, a brother man, who embraces the culture and loves it just as much as him, is not goddamn more than him. You know what I mean? And the thing is, he may have been taught that you shouldn't accept the black man, or you shouldn't accept black men, you shouldn't accept black people. You know what I'm saying? To do what you do or whatever. But here it is, regardless of what he may have been taught, he's seen that the passion that the black man had the same culture for him. He couldn't help but accept it, even if he was told not to. And he was an older guy, so again, that's just kind of what I took from him. But he was just telling me, kind of like, fuck what they say, man. If this man love country or wearing hats and boots just as much as I do, why not accept him? You know what I mean? But as people, if you got that common denominator with somebody, why not accept that person? If y'all got the same passion, y'all got the same beliefs, towards living life and coexisting with other people, why not accept that person? But prayers to my Asians out there that maybe going through some things in this time. Again, as people of color, we got to keep our head up, and we can't let the media give us a certain narrative and really separate us as people. You know what I'm saying? Because again, hey, black people, we support you. I'm sure the Latino community culture supports you too. Mexican culture, whatever, as far as going out and supporting the businesses that, y'all have created here for yourselves in the US of A. You know what I mean? So, but I digress. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's your man, Mike DeLoach, with a black man in New Mexico. And again, I think New Mexico was a blessing for me because I was able to see, things at a different angle. Again, check out some of my older content, talk about my perspective being just black and white, and lately how I've been able to, to see this gray area, and hopefully, I've opened up the eyes of some other people too, and, you kind of see where I'm coming from. I'm not asking you to agree, you know what I'm saying, but like I said, keep an open mind. You know what I mean? I had to open my mind, and I'm definitely starting to see a lot of stuff, for what it is. And again, I would like to definitely be a part of a certain level of change if I could, but subscribe to the channel if you haven't, leave a comment, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think, you know what I'm saying? Especially with this time and age, and also if you've ever had somebody tell you, I seen somebody, you remind me of somebody, you know what I'm saying? See what they talking about in the physical and the spiritual. And again, I'll probably make a part 2 with this and get onto the spiritual as far as you remind me, because, you could, good and evil spirits come in different shades of color too, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be aware of that too, but again, thank you for watching, like the video as well, share the video. And we're gonna keep bringing some more content, just different elements, you know what I mean? But that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching again. But until next time, we'll holler back. As always, thank you for watching A Black Man in New Mexico with your man, Mike DeLoach. So if you haven't already, hit that icon in the corner. Be sure to click on my face so that you can subscribe to the channel and get uploaded, when we drop that new content. And by the way, be sure to check out one of these videos here as well, to see what else we got going on in the content, But again, we appreciate you. It's your man, Mike DeLoach. And until next time, we're out.